doesn't exist anymore because that's not a live picture anymore. Good.
All around the city and in surrounding areas, people stop in the street and stare, horrified, frightened, confused.
The whole building just fell.
The entire city is suddenly in mourning.
The second one just came down. God, I work in the work. I don't get attention.
There was white smoke racing through the streets. This was the worst, most horrendous fire. And I started thinking about the people that might be trapped. Are there people trapped? If they are trapped, can they survive? And I remember thinking, this is like being in hell. This must be what
Thin over lower Manhattan.
Do you have some water, something to drink? Thanks. Open your mouth, because I need the water too.
I had been in this street 3 times in the last hour. The first time it was full of people. The second time everybody was running away from it. And the third time, getting out of the last collapse, there was just nobody. And everything was white. Everything was covered by the dust.
Holy shit.
It was the most surreal scene I have ever seen. I cannot describe what took place.
It is a scene just not to be believed. The smoke's still billowing. What we do have is a lockdown.
That last explosion was something because now there's a lot of police activity and sirens and more smoke rising from the ground, new smoke. So there was some kind of additional explosion, but I don't know what it was. Definitely. Smoke was rising from the ground. Maybe it was a federal building or something like that. Okay, sweetie, I'll call you later.
Right now. Conditions are unreal. Numerous members down. Numerous requests for oxygen. Special thanks to the League of 235 who provided shelter right after the collapse in the dust storm.
I was just thinking about this not long after the World Trade Center bombing. The engineer who designed the World Trade Center told me that the World Trade Center was designed to withstand a 707 direct impact. Well, obviously, that wasn't the case.
It seems not.
can't get in, you can't get out, you can't go up, you can't go down.
I see that I'm still.
This thing has not been completely contained yet. You got to force our way into buildings and start making triage centers. So I need possible entry tools, food, and men. Visibility in the worst hit area is said to be zero. Even now, hours after this happened, there are scores of emergency vehicles, and all around the sirens have been wailing.
In the middle of the street, and I see there is a little deli. Seems to be open in the corner.
Yeah, we're getting O2 now. Okay. Guys.
A lot of people injured. Firefighters, bloody nose, things like that. And then it hits me, but, you know, where is my brother? I start realizing that I've probably lost my brother. So I tried to go back to the World Trade Center. I need to go find my brother.
Where are the guys? I have no idea. Where's we should fly from?
The scene here is reminiscent of a nuclear winter. There is dust in the street. It is 3-4 inches high. I can't tell you.
Apparently, the entire New York City subway system has been shut down now, so we have a lockdown above ground, as you said, and below ground as well. Lincoln Holland Tunnels, George.
The second item is we're still getting numerous reports of the same direction going into West Chambers and leave with the statue. All right, 10-4. I'll let them know we've got them coming.
That's the Pentagon, and those pictures are live at 10:40 Eastern Time this morning. We have a report now of a fourth explosion at the Trade Center, and Brian Palmer, CNN correspondent, is as close as he can get to the area. Brian, what can you tell us?
We are, in fact, as close as we can get. I'm not going to give you an exact time frame, but several minutes ago we were standing in front of the United States courthouse when we saw the second World Trade Center disappear from the skyline. It collapsed before our eyes, again, in a plume of ash and debris. People rushed north. We had a New York City Police Department officer here with us who witnessed the first collapse, but he actually had to dash off to duty. We've been watching people crying. Some people had relatives in the buildings. They are not sure whether they are whether they've been evacuated, removed for the buildings, or not.
Was there, Brian, did it sound like there was an explosion before the second collapse, or was the noise the collapse itself?
Well, from our distance, I was not able to distinguish between an explosion and the collapse. We were several hundred yards away, but we clearly saw the building come down. I heard your report of a fourth explosion. I can't confirm that, but we heard some boom, and then the building fold in on itself.
We are told, Brian, hang on, we're told that the Secretary of Defense is...
Trade Center.
in an apparent terrorist attack on our country. And a short time after that, the president's suspicions were more or less confirmed when a plane crashed near the Pentagon. A portion of the Pentagon has now collapsed. Government buildings in Washington, including the Capitol and the White House, were evacuated after a credible threat, obviously this morning, of a terrorist attack. The FAA shut down all aircraft takeoffs nationwide. Then shortly after 10, One World Trade Center in New York collapsed about an hour after being hit by a plane. American Airlines says that one of the planes that crashed into the Trade Center was American Airlines Flight 11, hijacked after takeoff from Boston en route to Los Angeles. Senior law enforcement officials say that a car bomb then exploded outside the State Department in Washington, and then the second tower of the World Trade Center collapsed at 10:28. It was only 14 minutes ago, but it seems like a lifetime. Let's go to 1010 reporter Eileen LaPalmer. She's stationed outside
14 minutes ago, the second.
It'll be soaked, get screwed up.
Why, you think I'm screwing up this camera?
We have sirens, police vehicles racing down the middle of the street, and still
Danny, they're sending Angel down to pick up tapes. Underneath the Brooklyn Bridge. He's miles from us.
I got some of those already.